Hello everyone. Today we are going to be interviewing New Genesis, the most well-established of all crusading groups in the game. So tell me, when was New Genesis founded, and how did it become what it is today?
Well, New Genesis was founded about a year ago, or a year and a half ago. I was just kind of bored with my old Arma 3 community, and I was looking around for new games. And I was just YouTubing videos and trying to look for new games, and I had come across Dual Universe. You know, an awesome survival sci-fi game. Just kind of took to it. And ever since, I just been building my group up.
Had you played any space games similar to this prior? Like, what's your experience in these kind of things, or is this all new to you?
Yeah, this is all new to me. Like, I don't have any experience with space sci-fi games. I do have experience with survival games. Like Rust or Ark or, anything like that. I love going into those games and just dominating on survival type games. Which is kind of what drew me to Dual Universe. But as far as like sci-fi, space building, Space Engineers, Imperion, I have never had any experience with that. So this is kind of a first for me.
Alright, so the All-Father, praise be upon him, is the guiding light of the New Genesis. Can you elaborate on your clan's basically state religion?
Yeah, sure. When I started New Genesis, we didn't actually have a religion. It was just a utopian society, and that was it, with just some dark undertones, kind of like a dystopia. But kind of gradually over time, we kind of grew into Crusaders. I'm not sure like who exactly maybe brought it up or how it was introduced, but someone brought up the All-Father, and kind of everyone just went with it. It's not some big elaborate story, but everyone pretty much liked it, so it's kind of a group consensus thing. So we just went with that. But the idea behind the All-Father, it's a very short story, but it goes kind of like the All-Father destroyed Earth for its sinful ways, and that kind of signified that we had a second chance. We had a chance to cleanse ourselves of our sinful ways. So now, through the blood and the fire, we have to purge all the sinners so we can please the All-Father and, ensure that, we're not a victim of his wrath again. So that's pretty much it. It was just kind of birthed kind of out of group consensus.
Yeah. So what all makes someone a heretic, and what are the proper ways for New Genesis to purge them?
Oh, what makes them a heretic? Well, if we don't like them, no, but if they do not believe in our glorious God, the All-Father, then they are heretics. And we purge them through blood and through fire and any other way that we can. I want to say convert them, but it's kind of too late. You don't believe. So I don't know. Conversion's always a possibility, but that I don't know. If we can't beat them, maybe we can convert. But yeah, through the blood and through the fire, is the way we cleanse our heretics.
Yeah, that was one of the follow-up questions that I was going to ask. Is there a plan on conversion by the sword of other, kind of like the other religious groups? So like there's the Church of the Creator and a handful of other ones. What's the outward policy on those? Are you going to leave them alone, or are you going to basically seek them out and be like, follow the All-Father or die, basically?
This kind of plays a little bit into our role play as well, because if we just let them be, we wouldn't be following the All-Father. So, it's kind of like we have to attack them, but at the same time, I guess if we respect them in some aspect, and there's some mutual respect between us, maybe there's a chance we could coexist. But I don't know. Our first instinct is probably going to be to attack any other organization out there. So it'll just depend.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of not being able to purge efficiently? When was the last time you shed blood in the name of the All-Father? Well, with some of our tips, you could easily increase your purging efforts by at least 52%. Tip number 1. Just ask. If they stutter, then you will know that they are truly a heretic. Studies show that 90% of believers will never hesitate in stating their acceptance of the All-Father. The other 10% may have some stuttering issues, but it's best you regard that as a true sign of weakness and purge them instantly. Tip number 2. Observe and take action. There will be times when the heretic may be able to bypass a simple, "Are you a heretic?" question. If you are convinced that this may be one of those moments, then you will take full frontal action in order to stop the heretic from spreading its disease. At this point, you will want to stake out their home and watch their every movement. Should you see any telltale signs of a heretic, then start purging them as quickly as possible. Tip number 3. The flame test. If all else fails and you truly believe that you have been stumped by the heretic, then start conducting a simple flame test. This is a 100% surefire way to tell if the individual follows the All-Father. Be as cautious as possible and only use this as a last resort. Simply ask the individual to stay put while you douse them with gasoline. If they refuse this test, then purge them on the spot. If not, then let the All-Father decide their fate. Find out more information about purging at www.new-genesis.org.
All right. So, following up on that, how you said, for just any other organization out there, how does New Genesis plan to act outwardly towards other clans, seeing as to how the grand majority of them do not follow the ways of the All-Father?
Well, like I said, it'll have to be based on our level of mutual respect. We are a PvP organization. We're here to dominate. We're here to spread the, our belief in the All-Father. So there are other big organizations out there. We may have some mutual respect for them. But ultimately, I see other organizations kind of as competition in the game. This game was made for us to compete against each other. Now, as far as if we're friendly or not, that's another thing. But ultimately, it'll just depend on our level of respect for each other. If we have any alliances or mutual protection pacts or anything of those sorts. So it'll really just depend.
All right. So, how does New Genesis feel about some of the other large groups that are still larger than itself, such as the Terran Union or Band of Outlaws?
Those groups, well, I haven't had much contact with those organizations. So I don't know. It'll just depend on our level of respect. And like I said, I still see them as competition. I still see all these other groups as them trying to do the exact same thing that we're doing, which is PvP, attacking groups, building, very beautiful ships and monuments and all these other things. So I see these other groups, such as Band of Outlaws and Gregorian Union as competition, essentially, you know. And if they get in our way, so be it. But if they want to be allies, or they want to respect our boundaries, you know, that'll be something we have to discuss.
All right. So, is New Genesis pretty much purely PvP, or would you consider it more like an all-around nation? Do you like where you do try and do everything in-house?
We're mostly PvP. You ask any member in the group, they all want to kill and purge heretics. So it's like purely PvP, but we do plan on building some nice monuments, some nice structures, trade routes, and etc. You know, whatever we can to build up our organization. You can't win at something just at PvP. There's other aspects to look at. Diplomacy, economics, culture, even. And I would say even with that, our culture, it's like we have our own thing. It's very different from other people. It's very appealing to people when they do see this. You know, it's not, you see a bunch of mega corporations, you see a bunch of pirates, and you look at us, you know, we have our own, we're very different from other groups. You don't see crusaders too often. Yeah, but not getting off topic. We are mostly PvP. Yes.
Alright. Well, do y'all plan on going out right out of the gate, purging people as soon as PvP is introduced? Just, you know, day one out in the fields, you know, killing people? Or are you going to be more selective? Are you going to... So, like, I guess the question is, are you going to be celebrating the emergence of PvP on just going on a killing rampage? Or are you going to have specific targets laid out, ready to go find and destroy them whenever, you know, PvP launches?
Certainly anyone who has wronged us before will be on a list. We'll be on the lookout for them. But yeah, we will be on a rampage once guns get introduced, and I'm ready. I'm a mainly shooter player, so I'll be ready for weapons, and most of my members will be too. So right out the get-go, we'll be out looting, shooting people, purging heretics, and all that. So whoever's listening, just be ready.
So are you just going to be just killing them and leaving their constructs alone? Or are we talking basically full scorched earth where you kill them, blow up their ship, and leave nothing behind kind of setup?
It really depends. If there's some value that we can take, we'll go ahead and take it. If not, buy whatever construct they had. And it really depends on the cost of weapons, the cost of ammunition as well. So if it does cost a lot to blow up a building that doesn't have anything in it, then, you know, maybe we'll save those bullets for whatever. But otherwise, I don't know, if it doesn't cost that much, then we might just burn it or blow whatever up if it's no value to us. Otherwise, probably loot it and take whatever we can for our organization.
Alright. And you're also an Archon in the Arch Confederacy. I'm guessing that would imply that you're going to be kind of like large in the political spheres, even though you're out basically out in the killing fields. But there's also the other side of you where, you know, you're part of some of the larger kind of alliance groups in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Right now I haven't really participated too much in the Arch Confederacy myself, but the good thing is that there's a good amount of groups running the Arch Confederacy, so if I'm lacking anywhere, some of the other members can certainly pick it up. I may not be the best person for politics, so some of the other members of the Arch Confederacy will pick up the slack. But I am totally committed to the Arch, and any of its members, I will stand by them through thick and thin. So I'm definitely committed to it, and I will be, hopefully in the future when I'm not too busy, I'll be more involved within the politics of the Arch Confederacy and the greater game in general.
Alright. think we've rolled through most of my questions. Actually, you answered them all quickly and clearly and concisely. So I think that's actually,
wow.
Yeah, that's all we get. That's all we got right now. So maybe
Alrighty.
I can see a part 2 in New Genesis Future since you rolled through them so quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, when they drop the NDA, I can answer some more questions about, maybe some of our in-game policies. What's going to happen when weapons are released or what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, yeah, if anyone has any questions they'd like to see asked, comment them down below. And I guess until then, see ya.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.